you, Earl. All right, Texas House Democrats may be hiding out in other states, but the Senate still taking up redistricting in Austin.
Plan C-2308 is the same map proposed in the House. A meeting was held yesterday, which was supposed to include testimony from experts on the new map, but those invited did not show up. Lawmakers want to get the conversation started today when the public is invited to speak on the proposal.
I had presumed, based on their earlier testimony, that if they have any concerns over legality regarding this map, that they would come today and provide testimony regarding their concerns. Because as we all know in redistricting, now is the time to share such concerns if they exist. And apparently these witnesses have chose not to do that, and in almost all the cases chose not even to respond to our committee invitations.
That public testimony on the plan begins at 9 a.m. at the Capitol.
And the Texas Democrats held a press conference in Massachusetts with state legislators from across the country. They're talking about the redistricting standoff, and they accused Republican lawmakers trying to rig congressional maps.
The President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, has drawn these maps in Washington, D.C., and they've sent them to Texas. They've sent them to Missouri. We know this for a fact. They've drawn the maps, and they're accepting this. And why? Why is this happening? This is the opposite of democracy. Why is this happening? This is very simple. They do not want the Epstein files to be released.
More than 50 Texas Democrats left the state Sunday, breaking quorum, thus blocking the vote for a new GOP redistricting map. Attorney General Ken Paxton says if they don't return by tomorrow, he'll seek to have their seats vacated. President Trump signaled Tuesday federal law enforcement may step in as well. And continuing with our coverage this morning, we're joined by Texas District 123 Representative Diego Bernal. He's one of the Democrats that left to break quorum.
Yeah, Congressman Bernal, you and your colleagues went through a scary situation yesterday. Take us through the moments when you learned about that bomb threat and really security. You were saying security is really heightened around you guys now.
Right. Thanks for having me, you guys. It's nice to talk to people from home finally. So yesterday, the alarms went off pretty early in the place we're staying, letting us know that there was a bomb threat where the entire place had to be evacuated. And look, it happened. We're safe, but we're undeterred. It's not enough to get us to come back. But the rhetoric that leadership in Texas is using about hunting us down, I think is giving some ideas to people around the country. Because if you look online, the way that they're talking about us, like we're criminals, like we're people who need to be have a bounty on our head, it's starting to get to a fever pitch. So that part's not very comfortable. But here we are, and we're not leaving.
Well, you're using the law. I mean, you're using the rules that you can do, but let's put the shoe on the other foot. Let's say it was Democrat controlled and Republicans did this. I'm sure you'd feel totally different about it.
Well, I don't know. It's a tool that's available to both sides if they find themselves in the situation. Look, the way the Texas Constitution is set up, it's designed to protect the majority for overstepping the minority in every way. And so right now, for example, Texas is a 55-45 Republican state. I accept that. With the map, they want to make the congressional delegation 80-20, right? Right now, it's already 60-40. But more than anything, we respect the rules. We respect the law. We're not breaking the law. This is not a breaking the law situation. This is a using the law situation. And by the way, one of the reasons why we justify this is because we believe that the way that they're gerrymandering the state and gerrymandering San Antonio in particular is illegal. It's not just that we disagree, it's the motivation and the method that is the problem.
Well, CBS News reports, Attorney General Ken Paxton has set a deadline now for all of you to return by Friday, or he will ask the judge to declare your seats vacant. Are you planning to stand strong until, this session ends August 19th? What's the plan?
Absolutely. Look, the only reason why they're doing this is because President Trump asked them to. And the only reason why they said yes is because they're worried about political repercussions for themselves. So the distinction is clear. They're not willing to risk their seat, and they're going to sell our people out. And we're absolutely willing to risk our seats to protect those same people.
Realistically, the governor can call another session. He can call as many as he wants to call. If you continue to hold out, I think there's no way that that seat cannot be vacated.
Where do you go from here, I guess?
Well, I mean, you're making a legal conclusion that there's no substances in law to support. So I understand what you're saying, that ultimately he can continue to call special sessions, but the end result of that is not the vacating of the seat. That being said, I think we're trying to also point out that this is not just a Texas situation. Texas is the first domino. If we don't get a handle on this legally, to your point, then the whole country enters a sort of cold war of nonstop redistricting from the federal level all the way down to school boards and county commissioners.
All right,
So we have
let me
to
ask you
sort
this.
of-
Are there any talks at all? Are you talking with anybody on the Republican side? Anybody?
There are private conversations, and in those private conversations, they will say, we didn't want to do this. This is not our idea. I'd rather not. This is on the legislative side for the state as well as the congressional delegation from DC. This is just done so that President Trump can keep his congressional advantage in 2026. But the actual elected folks know that we shouldn't be doing this, and they don't want to.
Yeah, but any discussions on the map itself, a redistricting plan?
As far as I know, we're not negotiating on what the map looks like. I think we'd be open to negotiation. And by the way, the discussions we have had publicly as well is that we should go back and work on Kirk County. That's what we said at the beginning of the session. Put Kirk County first, put flood relief first, and they didn't. They've had 10 redistricting hearings to every one on Kirk County. And to that point, Governor Abbott already has the authority and power to deploy hundreds of millions of dollars to Kirk County without us, just like he did in 2021 and just like he did in 2019. He has the authority to act without the legislature to get Kirk County flood relief money, and he hasn't used it.